I'm 21 years old and I would identify as queer. So I grew up in a Christian household. My dad is a vicar in the Church of England and my parents just always have been religious. It was something that we were brought up around, and we always went to church. I considered the wider church as my family, but growing up in that environment, you do hear messages against LGBT people. I didn't have really extreme kind of this is completely wrong, this is abhorrent, this is unnatural or anything like that, but there is always this kind of underlying tone of that's just not what we do, that's not who we are. And sometimes even the idea that there is a choice involved. And so I spent a lot of my teenage years kind of ignoring the fact that I was attracted to girls. It was kind of something that I decided that I didn't need to focus on, that it didn't need to be a part of me. And I did fairly well at it for a while. But then when I went to university, I met someone and fell in love, and suddenly it was like, this is something that I can't ignore anymore. This is me and this is part of my life. And even if it means that I'm not who I was trying to be or who I thought I was, then it's something that I need to deal with. And lots of other people think that it would ruin my faith, or it would mean that I want to walk away and never talk to anyone from the church again. I know that that is the case for some people, but I didn't want to lose that part of myself. And actually, in accepting that I was who I was and I love who I love, I feel like my faith actually came alive, and I was being completely honest with myself for the first time. And I felt like I actually saw myself how God sees me for the first time in my life. I wasn't putting up any false pretenses. I wasn't trying to be someone that I'm not. I wasn't trying to be perfect. And actually that was completely refreshing, and it meant that my faith was so much stronger, and it made me realise that there's probably a lot of things that I've taken for granted and just taken at face value that I needed to go back and think about. But I actually felt so close to God throughout the whole thing because I was just being myself. You know, before that, Christianity was kind of something that, just another thing that I wanted to be good at. Like I've always been an overachiever, and that was kind of what I wanted to be in terms of my faith as well. And I loved being given responsibility for things and being asked to take on leadership positions. And in coming out, I had a lot of those responsibilities taken away from me because people see it as a conflict of interests. In that, I realised that I had to learn to love myself and love God without all the shiny added extras. It's about being who I am and having that relationship with God without having to have all this other stuff. And that was actually a really powerful experience for me, and it has completely transformed the way I see myself, the way I see other Christians, my relationship with the church, and it's definitely been for the better, even though some of it has been really hard. Yeah.